Antitrust Law's Real Estate Exam. Question 1. Which choice best matches the description of buried container that can create soil and groundwater contamination risk if it leaks? Option A. Material defect disclosure. Option B. Group boycott. Option C. Special warranty deed. Option D. Underground storage tank. The correct answer is option D. Underground storage tank. Environmental professionals should evaluate suspected conditions. Former heating minus oil or fuel tanks may require investigation and regulatory compliance. Visual inspection alone may not reveal the tank or contamination. Question 2. During review of an office building in Salisbury, the parties discuss an agent authorized to handle a series of transactions within an ongoing business area. Which term applies? Option A. General agent. Option B. Disclosure duty. Option C. Buyer's agent. Option D. Express agency. The correct answer is option A. General agent. The agent may bind the principal only within the granted scope. This role is broader than authority limited to one specific sale. A property manager often receives broad operational authority for the managed property. Question 3. An exam scenario presents communication of a known condition that significantly affects value, desirability, or safety. Which answer is most accurate? Option A. General warranty deed. Option B. Material defect disclosure. Option C. CERCLA. Option D. Redlining. The correct answer is option B. Material defect disclosure. Experts should evaluate technical conditions outside the licensee's competence. The duty can apply even when a seller prefers silence. A licensee should not conceal a serious problem or make misleading assurances.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass in payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A licensee preparing for a settlement preparation must recognize an agreement with no legal effect from the beginning. Which concept does this describe? Option A. Consideration. Option B. Unenforceable contract. Option C. Void contract. Option D. Novation. The correct answer is option C. Void contract. No party can enforce an arrangement that lacks a fundamental legal requirement or has an illegal purpose. Later approval ordinarily cannot cure an agreement that was never legally valid. This differs from a contract that is valid unless a protected party chooses to avoid it. Question 5. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a definite proposal communicated with intent to be bound upon acceptance? Option A. Right of first refusal. Option B. Rescission. Option C. Net listing. Option D. Offer. The correct answer is option D. Offer. An advertisement is usually an invitation to negotiate unless it is unusually specific and leaves nothing open. The terms must be sufficiently clear for the recipient to understand the proposed bargain. The proposal can terminate through revocation, rejection, counter-proposal, lapse, or operation of law. Question 6. At a financing review in College Park, FARA explains federal disclosure duties for most residential property built before 1978. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A. Lead-based paint disclosure. Option B. Fair Housing Act. Option C. Antitrust law. Option D. Quiet title action. The correct answer is option A. Lead-based paint disclosure. Sellers and landlords must provide required information, available records, and the federal hazard pamphlet. The rule does not require the owner to remove all lead before transfer. Purchase contracts generally include a lead warning statement and an opportunity for qualifying buyers to conduct a risk assessment or inspection. Question 7. A transaction file for a subdivision lot raises an issue involving conditioning the purchase of one service on the buyer also obtaining a separate service. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A. Underground storage tank. Option B. Time-in arrangement. Option C. Cloud on title. Option D. Material defect disclosure. The correct answer is option B. Time-in arrangement. Voluntary bundled offerings must be disclosed accurately. The practice can restrict consumer choice and competition when market power and other legal elements are present. Required use of an affiliated service should be reviewed under settlement-service and antitrust rules. Question 8. Which concept should a salesperson apply to facts involving something of legal value exchanged to support a contract? Option A. Right of first refusal. Option B. Executory contract. Option C. Consideration. Option D. Acceptance. The correct answer is option C, consideration. Courts generally examine legal sufficiency rather than whether the bargain was economically equal. Earnest money may evidence seriousness but is not always required for contract validity. The exchange can consist of money, a promise, an act, or forbearance.
Are you looking for FCLE actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access FCLE study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get FCLE answer key today.
Question 9. When do you studying a rule concerning an agreement that remains enforceable unless a party with a legal right elects to rescind? Which term should be chosen? Option A, consideration. Option B, specific performance. Option C, valid contract. Option D, voidable contract. The correct answer is option D, voidable contract. The other party cannot automatically treat the agreement as non-existent. Fraud, duress, or lack of capacity can create this status. The protected party may affirm or reject the transaction depending on the circumstances. Question 10. When a condominium unit transaction involves the federal law prohibiting housing discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and disability, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, Fair Housing Act. Option B, reasonable modification. Option C, lead-based paint disclosure. Option D, material defect disclosure. The correct answer is option A, Fair Housing Act. The protections apply to covered sales, rentals, advertising, and related services. Licensees must provide equal professional service and avoid steering or discriminatory statements. Limited statutory exemptions do not permit discriminatory advertising. Question 11. A practice question describes a deed limiting the grantor's title covenants to defects arising during the grantor's ownership. Which response is best? Option A, reasonable accommodation. Option B, special warranty deed. Option C, actual notice. Option D, general warranty deed. The correct answer is option B, special warranty deed. The instrument provides more protection than a deed with no covenants but less than a full general warranty. The grantor does not broadly warrant against problems created by earlier owners. Title insurance may still be important because earlier defects remain possible. Question 12. During a due-diligence meeting, which principle is illustrated by an agreement in which all parties have completed their promised performance? Option A, novation. Option B, buyer representation agreement. Option C, executed contract. Option D, time is of the essence. The correct answer is option C, executed contract. No material contractual duties remain outstanding after full performance. A signed purchase contract awaiting closing is usually still executory. The term describes performance status rather than the presence of signatures. Question 13. Which answer states the concept associated with the obligation to protect private information learned through representation? Option A, disclosure duty. Option B, special agent. Option C, conversion. Option D, confidentiality duty. The correct answer is option D, confidentiality duty. It does not permit concealment of material property defects that law requires to be disclosed. Negotiating limits, motivation, and personal circumstances generally remain protected unless disclosure is authorized or legally required. The duty can continue after the agency relationship ends. Question 14. A tenant handling a townhouse in Bowie must identify the contract stating the buyer's and seller's obligations for transfer of identified real property. Which choice is correct? Option A, purchase agreement. Option B, lease. Option C, consideration. Option D, option contract. The correct answer is option A, purchase agreement. Contingencies, closing duties, risk allocation, and default remedies should be clearly expressed. The agreement remains subject to applicable disclosure and writing requirements. Essential terms include the parties, property, price, and material conditions. Question 15. During a buyer consultation for a vacant parcel in Rockville, Hector needs to identify the rule described as an agreement among competitors to establish or stabilize prices or commission terms. Which answer applies? Option A, Megan's Law notice. Option B, price fixing. Option C, CERCLA. Option D, redlining. The correct answer is option B, price fixing. Informal conversations or coordinated minimum fees can create serious risk. The agreement can be unlawful even when the chosen rate appears reasonable. Each brokerage must make independent pricing decisions. Question 16. A buyer representative is reviewing a single-family home in Cumberland. Which term describes a contractual right to match or accept terms when an owner decides to sell? Option A, option contract. Option B, purchase agreement. Option C, right of first refusal. Option D, specific performance. The correct answer is option C, right of first refusal. The right does not usually force the owner to offer the property before deciding to market it. Once a qualifying third-party offer exists, the holder receives the opportunity defined by the agreement. The wording controls notice, timing, and covered transactions. Question 17. At a contract revision, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: a change in a housing rule or service needed for a person with a disability to have equal use and enjoyment. Which concept is being tested? Option A, radon. Option B, environmental site assessment. Option C, antitrust law. Option D, reasonable accommodation. The correct answer is option D, reasonable accommodation. A housing provider may request limited information when the need is not obvious. The request concerns policy or procedure rather than a structural change. Approval is required unless the request creates an undue burden or fundamental alteration. Question 18. Zane is assisting with a waterfront parcel transaction in Hagerstown. Which principle applies when the facts involve the obligation to use the skill and diligence expected of a competent real estate professional? Option A, reasonable care. Option B, loyalty duty. Option C, dual agent. Option D, special agent. The correct answer is option A, reasonable care. The licensee should verify information, meet deadlines, and recommend appropriate expert assistance. Negligent performance can create liability even without intentional misconduct. The duty does not make the licensee a lawyer, engineer, or tax advisor.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. Which answer most accurately identifies unqualified agreement to the terms of an offer communicated in the authorized manner in a real estate transaction? Option A, unilateral contract. Option B, acceptance. Option C, option contract. Option D, right of first refusal. The correct answer is option B, acceptance. Silence generally does not constitute consent unless an established legal exception applies. Changing a material term normally creates a counteroffer rather than unqualified assent. Timing and communication rules determine when the agreement becomes binding. Question 20. A question arising during offer review concerns a written contract defining the broker's duties, scope of representation, term, and compensation for a buyer client. Which choice gives the best classification in the offer review described? Option A, executory contract. Option B, novation. Option C, buyer representation agreement. Option D, unilateral contract. The correct answer is option C, buyer representation agreement. It should address exclusivity, termination, and the property or market covered. The buyer and licensee must understand potential compensation from other transaction participants. The agreement establishes agency and explains how the broker will be paid. Question 21. While analyzing a mixed-use property, Quinton must apply the concept involving a licensee engaged to represent the owner in marketing and negotiating a property. Which answer should be selected? Option A, implied agency. Option B, express agency. Option C, material fact. Option D, seller's agent. The correct answer is option D, seller's agent. The agency relationship should be established and disclosed in writing. Known material facts still must be disclosed as required to buyers. The representative seeks lawful terms favorable to the owner and must protect the owner's confidential information. Question 22. Which real estate term is defined by an arrangement in which the owner sets a desired net amount and the broker keeps the excess as compensation in the per-listing meeting described? Option A, net listing. Option B, contingency. Option C, liquidated damages. Option D, executed contract. The correct answer is option A, net listing. The structure creates a serious conflict because the broker benefits from a larger spread rather than a transparent fee. Many jurisdictions prohibit or restrict this arrangement. A licensee must follow state law and fiduciary duties rather than assume it is permitted. Question 23. In a transaction involving a small apartment building, which rule controls when there is knowledge the law attributes to a person because information is available in public records or through visible possession. Option A, Americans with Disabilities Act. Option B, constructive notice. Option C, underground storage tank. Option D, price fixing. The correct answer is option B, constructive notice. Open occupancy by another person may also create a duty to inquire. A purchaser is expected to investigate recorded documents affecting title. The person cannot avoid the legal effect merely by claiming not to have looked. Question 24. A appraiser asks about a contract condition allowing performance obligations to depend on a specified event. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, novation. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, contingency. Option D, specific performance. The correct answer is option C, contingency. Financing, appraisal, inspection, and sale minus property conditions allocate transaction risk. Failure of the condition can permit termination if the clause is properly invoked. The party benefiting from the provision must comply with notice and deadline requirements. Question 25. Yasmin encounters a fibrous material formerly used in insulation, fireproofing, and building products during an inspection period. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, reasonable accommodation. Option B, redlining. Option C, abstract of title. Option D, asbestos. The correct answer is option D, asbestos. Its presence does not automatically require removal if it is intact and safely managed. The material is most hazardous when disturbed fibers become airborne. Proper inspection and removal require qualified professionals.